All right, and welcome back to the AM Drive here on 12 Ounce Sports. We are presented by Vice Golf, and it's very simple. Christmas is coming, and the golfer in your life is going to need a new set of balls. It's very
Oh,
simple. They are, whoa, what you doing here, Mikey? There you
I'll
go,
be all
buddy.
right.
All right. Vice Golf is rapidly changing the game. They sell custom golf balls right to your door for a fraction of the price of the big boys. Visit MikeandAaronDrive.com today to get shopping. Click the Vice Golf logo. Tell them that we sent you. We appreciate you guys, and happy holidays to you. All right. Our next guest here on the AM Drive is presented by Vice Golf, and it's Beau Fave. He is the CEO of the Underground Donut Tour based out of Portland here. I know you are a big Portland sports guy here, but what's going on, my friend? I saw you on Twitter. You piqued my interest talking about donuts. I had to have you aboard.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Perfect.
everything.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, hey, thank you guys for having me, man. I really appreciate it. I was checking you guys out. It's Mike and Aaron, right? Is that what we got going on here?
correct,
Hey.
correct. Yes. So,
Yeah. I got some picks for you later too, some MMA picks. But let's talk donuts for a second. I do run the branch here in Portland. I am the CEO of the company, but we also we're in Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, Boston. We're also coming to Nashville soon, New Orleans, hopefully, and Vancouver, British Columbia. So we're out there doing it. But, we use the word tour, guys. This is way more of a crawl. You were more likely to gain weight than learn anything on these
Heck
tours, man. It
yeah.
is, we
I,
sample. Go ahead, sorry.
I'll say I'm totally okay with it. I know going in that if I'm having donuts, I'm ready to be on a sugar crash by like the second or third stop.
Absolutely, man. And we hit 4 stops and we sample like 14 different donuts. So, I mean, when you come on the tour, you sample an unreal number of donuts, but that's just part of it, man. It's also a walking tour. So we walk through the cities and we really just goof off and have a good time. And it's really, I can't believe we get paid for this some days. It's absolutely unreal.
Yeah,
I,
it's
I
not.
have a
But if you,
question for you.
yeah, sure.
You said sampling 14 donuts. I'm like, I don't know if sampling would be the right word. If I like some of them things, I might eat about 7 of them things.
Well, that's going to be your option when you come on the tour too. The way we lay it out is that you'll get like a quarter size donut of each different flavor. We always try to hit the top selling donut as well as the most unique donut. We've had goat cheese donuts, we've had pimento cheese donuts, we've had. I mean, the other day I had a habanero bacon potato chip donut. It was the best donut I ever had in my life. I don't. You never
Wow.
know.
That one definitely sounds like something I would be terrified to try, but interested as well. And if that's the best donut you ever had, I'm going to take your word for it. I might have to try that in one of your city stops. Tell me a little bit about the fundamentals. How did the Underground Donut Tour become a thing? Because it's a pretty awesome. Like, we talk about pub crawls. We know about those, and we kind of combined it with sightseeing. As well with places like Portland, New York City, Chicago. So how does this become a thing? Like, what was the fundamental foundation of where did it start? When did it start? And when did you become a
Well,
part of this?
Well, it all started in Chicago about 6 years ago. My boss, Jeff Wilker, the founder of the company, he just loves donuts, man. He loves hanging out with people. And, he wanted to start a donut shop in Chicago, but it's really expensive to start even a small business in Chicago. So it just turned into this thing of hanging out with people on the weekend and eating the best donuts in Chicago. He did that for about 2 years. This was just a complete lark. He has a full time job. He works 9 to 5. Was just doing this on the weekends, and one day this guy came on the tour and he's like, man, we got to do this in Philadelphia. Like, I love this so much. And it just like kind of snapped in his head. He starts jumping up all over the place. And that's when he starts putting out feelers. And the only one requirement we require for like someone to help be on the tour is that you're eccentric, you're into comedy, you're into sports, and that you love meeting new people. And that's something that, it fell right in line for me. I stumbled across this job posting only 3 years ago now, but I mean, the company has grown and excelled so much in this time, and we only see it growing and excelling even further. When I started in this company only 3 years ago, we were only in Chicago, and now we're in 7 different states. So I mean, this is outrageous.
That is pretty awesome. I mean, like you said, like it becomes a guy's pipe dream of just enjoying donuts, and instead of starting a donut business, he now just gets to have everyone experience his love, all throughout each city. Now, you talked about we kind of touched on a couple of them, but where is the current donut tour located right now? Which cities? You said 7 different cities.
Right. So the original one is in Chicago, which is downtown, but we've
Okay.
also expanded into Wicker Park and what they call Restaurant Row. I believe it's the West Loop. but we're also in Portland, and these tours run. I personally run tours in Portland 6 days a week, twice a day.
Wow.
So you can catch me. You can catch me downtown. They're 2 hour tours. We walk 2 miles, and we're doing that, in 7 different cities, each morning. After I get off the phone with you guys, I'm actually going to go run some tours downtown and hang out and eat donuts. So I mean, this is my full time career. It's hard to. I know it's kind of hard to comprehend, but we're doing it. We're literally, except for Nashville, which we're going to launch in, this week, I believe. You can book tours in Chicago, Seattle, Portland, Boston, or any one of those cities we mentioned. You can come hang out today or tomorrow. I mean, we're up and running, man.
That's a pretty awesome thing too, because like you get the walking in, so you can kind of say, "Hey, look, you're not going to gain all the weight eating donuts."
Right? No, it's kind of a caloric wash, honestly. But the way that this functions more as a crawl, man. Each one of these things is unique, like a snowflake. I mean, I never know what to expect when I show up to work, and I do like it that way, because I meet people from all over the world, food enthusiasts, and just I mean, I met a famous scientist. When he told me he was famous, I don't know anything about science, so I'll just take his word for it.
Believe him, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, cool, man, that's good. But I mean, these things, if you come on these things, the way they evolve is it's not like a food tour that you would expect. We don't have too much rehearsed stuff. I'll actually spend most of the time giving you like restaurant recommendations for the city, places to go drink, what's hip, what's going on. So we eat donuts, but we talk about everything, and we'll be starting a podcast ourselves here soon with a guest of the donut tour. So maybe we can get you guys on some of these tours or come on this podcast. So I'm hoping that's a step we can take.
I could be down with that, but I feel like I should heed the first appearance to this scientist that you speak of.
You might want to let him go first. That is true.
Right.
That is
true. Naturally.
You mentioned about how you became involved with these people. I guess you were energetic, and are you funny or are you just a sports fan? Really, what was your draw to this thing?
Well, I mean, I fancy myself funny, but that's a. So I dabbled in some stand-up comedy. I did some open mics, and that was always something I was very interested in. But that doesn't pay the bills, as most people know. It also might cost you some money to go have a 2-drink minimum to tell 15 minutes of jokes. But I was kind of just I fell into this job completely by accident, man. I was cruising through Indeed, which is the job finding website, and I was just looking for silly keywords. I mean, I typed in funny. Eventually, I typed in fun, and this was the first job that popped up. It sounded too good to be true, So he wanted someone to write an essay before he could actually apply for the job. So I wrote him this kind of hilarious 2-page story, and I mean, it clicked with him. He got on the phone. We talked for like a few hours, and I mean, it really just it popped off. He's a good friend of mine now, and this is I'd say it's the best thing that ever happened to me. I have a newborn baby, but I'm not sure.
Well, kind of walk us through a day. Like if I'm signing up for a donut tour in Portland or in any of these other cities, like you said, Chicago, Boston, New York, even Nashville when it comes, when it's live. What am I expecting? Kind of walk me through a day. I know you talked about the stops and getting a sites in history, but give me just kind of a roundabout day, even if a day that you go through, like you said, you never get the same day twice.
Sure, yeah. On an average day, the nuts and bolts are always kind of the same, So people show up, and we give them a good 15, 20 minutes to show up. And as they show up, they'll meet me or a different tour guide, maybe sometimes 2 tour guides, and we'll buy you a beverage of your choosing, whether that's coffee or whatever. It's all included in the ticket or the price. We want you to have something liquid with all these donuts coming your way. But then, that's usually like, I consider it the ice breaking round. We're going to sit there, we're going to chat it out. We're going to learn about people, where they're from, things, what they eat. You really want to learn about someone, you feed them. You know what I mean? You learn about what they don't like, what they do like. And as we start, I kind of work my way through those questions. And then we break out donuts, man, and that makes everyone happy. And the way the donuts come out is we come out in trays. We have a server, and he'll walk down, he'll hand out each donut sample. And as that happens, we'll explain what the donut is, the difference between the next donut coming out, if it's the top selling one. And we'll walk you through 4 or 5 donuts at the first stop. And then we'll go on a walk, usually a quarter mile to a half mile to the next stop. We'll point out restaurants, history. Yeah, that's the move right there,
That's an exciting part of it too, is because you feel like you walk one place and the other place is 3 doors down, you're like, well, what am I really doing here? But like, yeah, getting a nice feel for it, especially Portland. I know the weather's beautiful most of the year there for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's hoodie weather, they say, all year.
Right, absolutely. You know, how can we, if we want to sign up for this? I mean, are you available? Like, I don't know how this works. Like, I can't imagine this is like a Priceline thing. Like, how does this work when if we find you guys, we want to sign up for a tour? What do we do here?
Oh, that's easy. Well, you can sign up for tours at donuttour.com. But we have a good partnership with Airbnb. So if you book an Airbnb in any city that we have tours in, one of the first recommendations they're going to give you is a donut tour. Um,
Wow.
and so I mean that's not the only way you might end up on the donut tour. Other companies have followed suit on that. I mean, we have Match.com has been sending singles on the donut tour just to hang out, and
Oh, interesting.
and those are fun. Hey, those are fun tours for me as a tour guide. I'll tell you what, those are very interesting. So you can buy a ticket, to be clear, on any platform you can imagine, from TripAdvisor to Airbnb to Match.com, donut tour. You can Google us. We're out there, man.
So we're
I think if I go on Match.com and I match with somebody, I'm like, we're doing the donut tour. Oh, I'm getting married. I'm getting married.
I got
That's the one. And you know what? Here in Portland at Voodoo Donuts, the final stop on the donut tour, they actually do weddings. So
Heck yeah,
I think it's
see?
all.
Will you marry me, baby?
And Voodoo,
Exactly. Yeah.
Voodoo is one of the more popular ones. I've seen them featured on TV shows. Everybody who I've talked to from Portland, they talk about Voodoo. Is that why you end your tour there, because it's the most popular one?
Absolutely, man. They were featured on Anthony Bourdain's No Reservations. They were famous for having a Pepto Bismol donut and a NyQuil donut they were selling that the
Oh,
FDA eventually, yeah, the FDA eventually outlawed it, but that was like
let's do
their
that, yeah.
sprint. Yeah, that's the sprint. No bad PR, as they say. So I mean, that's
To be fair, the Pepto Bismol one seems more practical than the Nyquil one. I mean,
yeah, the
we're being
NyQuil one.
honest.
I if I had to eat one, I'm definitely going with Pepto Bismol, right? That's the
bubblegum
move.
flavor,
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah. They got a lot of crazy donuts there.
There's a lot of great places in Vegas. I know donut shops. Actually, up by me, there's D's Donuts here. But I think the kind of the handicap here is that they're not all right in that walking distance. Is that something
Oh,
that if the brand grows, that like transportation could be a thing?
absolutely. And we've thought about that and discussed that, like maybe a transportation between just one of the two stops to get those two stops closer. Are you
Right.
guys out in Vegas actually?
I'm
I
in Vegas.
wish.
He's in
Savannah,
Georgia,
Georgia.
but I'm in
Oh, okay.
Vegas
Hey,
here.
Georgia's a good place too. I'm so sorry, guys. Can you give me? Just hang on one second.
I'll tell you what, Mike, though, like donuts bring everyone together, correct? I mean, even the baby wants in on this
Even
interview.
the baby
Even
just
the
wants
baby
some
wants in
Yeah,
on
donut.
it.
dude. I'm so sorry about that, guys.
Oh, it's all good. The
I
baby
was gonna
wanted,
say
he
out.
had other things he wanted to tell us that you didn't mention yet. So,
I was gonna say out in Vegas, you got a place called Yo Nuts, and they
yeah.
make donuts. I was looking at some of their stuff, dude. It looks really really good.
Yeah, there's a lot of few ones out here. I know Pink Box is a little bit more of a chain out here, but
That's right, Pink Box.
The Donut Bar has
Donut Bar.
become great. But hey, tell us a little bit about Nashville. Like, do you have information on Nashville? Because they're the newest one that are definitely open up. What do you know about Nashville and the donut tour there?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't know much about Nashville before we went there, but this place is awesome, dude. I mean, it is the bachelorette capital of the world.
That's what I've
Something
heard.
I didn't know. So the streets out there, I expected something more like, I don't know, like southern laid back thing, but it was off the chain out there, man. And so I'm not sure which 4 shops they actually settled on. I know they did a press only donut tour just 2 days ago for them. But I'm excited for this, man, because we haven't gone to. I mean, I know it's not south, but it's as south as we've gone yet. So I'm happy to get down there and move this stuff around. And I'm hoping we can. We already run bachelorette parties nonstop, which surprised me. I never thought that would be the thing for the
That's
donut tour. But
crazy.
so this is a hand in hand situation we got going on here.
That
Listen,
you could have reached a definite niche right there. Bachelorette parties and donuts just fused. That'd be awesome.
you
Yeah,
talk
I think
about
that's a good job.
Not
right.
bad.
You talk about South. Let's talk about some Southpaw here in terms of fighting. I hear you like MMA.
Oh man, I'm an MMA fanatic. It's unreal.
Heck yeah. I have a question for you because before Aaron gets any question that he has about that. You at UFC too, right? I guess.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Me and my buddy Aaron have this thing called on Pick 'em Wars, this website that we go on. And we looked at like the toughest dude. And apparently, like we finished, like we were like one of the dead last people in our picks. Apparently, we're gonna have to like fade the guys who look like tough and have to go with the shrimps. What? I'm confused here. Like, did you recognize any of these names in the recent UFC card this last weekend?
Yeah, I did. Because when you gamble on MMA, you got to know these guys, man. And watching these guys come up, sometimes they have hype, so about a background from specific martial arts. But I love watching the guys come up on the regional circuit because it can be lucrative once they hit that UFC circuit if no one knows who they are and you know what's going on. Now, are you talking about? No, you're not talking about UFC 268. You're talking about this past weekend one with the
like the no names basically.
Well, the no names.
Yeah, those no names. Yeah.
The
They put on fights just to put on fights. Sometimes it seems right, but there was Chaos Williams versus Miguel Beza this past weekend. Chaos ended up catching him in the third round by a punch, which drove me crazy, dude. Because I had Beza in a parlay with Holloway and Woodson, and it was just about to. I mean, I knew Holloway was going to win. I didn't expect it to be that hard for him, but man, I just they got me right. They got me, man. I tell you what.
I will say
what though?
Oh, go ahead.
I do have a few picks for you guys. I wrote down if you guys want to know about this upcoming weekend.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I wanted to say just before we get to those is I did see the video of the after of Rodriguez and Holloway in the ambulance. Just the respect for each other as they're all sitting there, just blood running down their faces. I thought that was a kind of a surreal photo or video. They spent 25 minutes beating the heck out of each other, and then to have that kind of mutual respect was pretty awesome. But yeah, I want to get into this upcoming UFC event this weekend because for me, I do know who Misha Tate is. She was once one of the bigger stars. So go ahead. I got Fight Night here, right here from Las Vegas. If you have any picks here for us in that or any of the things going on this weekend in MMA, give the people what they want, some ways to make money. So let's hear it.
So in the feature bout, we got the Korean fighter Kyung Ho Kang, right? Now he's nicknamed Mr. Perfect because that's for a reason. He's perfect, but he's a little bit older at 34 years old. But as the money line goes, everyone's been liking him from about a minus 110, favorite to like a minus 140 favorite. And when we see movement like that, I like movement like that. It's not too crazy. It's just perfect enough. And when you look across his opponent, Ronnie Yahya, my apologies, he's 36 himself. He's already got 10 losses. It's amazing he's still in the UFC. His last loss was only to Ricky Simone, who was an up-and-coming, brute. But it doesn't speak well because his wins are kind of not where we need him to be. And if you guys go on Twitter, there's a gentleman named Monk MMA Analytics, and he does amazing analytics. And I don't love analytics for gambling perfectly, but all the analytics are pointing towards Kang in this fight. So I'm going to agree with that. I would say take the money line, whether it's minus 120 or minus 140. Anything you can get, that's a solid pick. We're not sure how that fight's going to play out considering they're both older gentlemen. So the money line's fine for that one. And then the fight that I'm actually most looking forward to is Adrian Yanez versus Davy Grant. Now, Adrian Yanez is a comfortable minus 260 money line, which we call a prohibitive, that's a prohibitive favorite. We can't bet on that. Now, Adrian Yanez is on like a 5-fight KO win streak. I don't see him finishing Davy Grant. Davy Grant has never been finished by KO. And actually, the money line on this one's swinging back and forth a little bit. So I think people are kind of seeing what I'm seeing. Davy's been submitted a few times. He's been stopped by a cut. But he's also older. So the way I see this going is Adrian Yanez is going to box his ears off for 3 rounds. And get this, the money line plus 375, guys. That's a huge deal. You bet $100, you win $375. I only bet $10-15 these days to keep it easy, unless I can really dig into some research. But that's my favorite play with that prop play. And you got to remember, in MMA, the best guys hit at 30% on prop plays, But I still think this is a solid prop play.
So you're saying Grant wins, or you're saying Yanez wins?
I'm sorry, Yanez and Adrian Yanez by decision, plus 375. Yeah. Now that's crazy because you get this guy from minus 265 to plus 375. I mean, it's nuts,
Right.
Well, yeah. All the lines are saying he's going to knock him out, but if you think Davy's got a steel chin, then we got to fight on him.
Davey, they call him Crazy Davey Grant. This guy's a lunatic, man. I mean, he was injured for a few years, so he was out for a while. But he came out and he knocked out some prospects, but he did lose to Marlon Vera last time out. Marlon Vera's a good fighter, but I kind of see it playing out the same way, honestly.
Yeah, and it looks like in the main. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry, I have one more for you before the main event, if you want.
Oh, yeah, please.
Yeah. Sorry. So we got Pat Sabatini. He is a submission specialist, and as long as that fight didn't get pulled, I see.
It's on the prelims. I see here. Yes,
it is on the prelims. Okay, he's fighting Tucker Lutz. That's right. It's a late replacement with Tucker Lutz, who's a solid fighter, but Sabatini subs everybody, man. I don't think he'll get the sub this time. I'm going to take the money line because it's still very comfortable at the -110. But I am going to sprinkle something in there on a submission just in case because that is his forte.
Yeah, I like it. I looking at this right now, 15-3 for him, but he's definitely looks like the less tougher of the guys, Mike. If I was picking,
yeah, I don't even have a picture of 17. I just have Lutz picture over here. But so I did do your picks on there though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I'm fading, Lutz looks like the tough guy. So based on our logic here, I think we've got to go with Sabatini, and Beau has confirmed that.
Yes, sir.
All right, so tell me about this main card because, like I said, Misha's my girl. I know she's been around a while. She's the dog in this fight against. I'm going to probably butcher this, but Ketlen Vieira.
Yeah, Caitlin Vieira. Yeah, she's been so active. I do like her here a little bit, but with a loss to Yana Kunitskaya, I mean that's pretty recently. Irene Aldana loss is acceptable, but that's when Irene was undefeated. So I'm kind of talking out of my side of my mouth here. I would actually say that Miesha Tate is a solid pick here, man. She has incredible wrestling. She has great takedown defense, and if you look at her record, man, she has only lost to really, really good people. I'm talking top 5 championship caliber. Mm-hmm. I would say her worst loss is Raquel Pennington, who fought for a title, lost. But I mean, I don't see Caitlin Vieira getting close to a title. So I would say Miesha Tate on this one. I'm going to go out on a limb here and pick Miesha Tate.
I love it too. And to be honest, I'm looking at these ESPN photos. Caitlin Vieira looks like a badass, so I feel like
looks like the scarier fighter, right?
Yeah, exactly. Tate's all pretty and stuff. I'm gonna take Miesha Tate.
Yeah,
yes, dude.
It's a pretty girl, absolutely. But yeah, plus the 105 is what I'm seeing here on the card here, so I love it. Well, Beau, we appreciate it. Before we sign off here with you, tell us where we can find you on the socials, and if we can, tell us where we can find the Donut Tour all over the internet here.
Absolutely. Well, the Donut Tour is based on Instagram. You can find them at the Underground Donut. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter at Beau Fave, just the way my name is spelled. And here soon, we're going to launch the YouTube page and the TikTok and all that fun stuff the kids love. But right now, you can just find us on Instagram and Twitter. Check us out, please.
Very cool. And you can catch all of his picks on that Twitter page as well. And if he wins you money this weekend, I know you can go on the Underground Donut Tour and support them by buying some merch. They got some pretty cool T-shirts. Or get a gift card for when you're in Portland, Chicago, maybe even Nashville for a bachelorette party, right, my brother?
That's right. Please come see us, guys.
Right on.
Thank you so much, gentlemen.
You've been a fun guest.
Hey, thank you. Anytime you want me, I'm here for you guys.
Awesome. Appreciate it. And when we get to Portland, we'll have to look you up. I know that Portland's an awesome city. I've never been, but I always hear good things. So, Beau, once again, we appreciate you coming aboard, talking some MMA, but most importantly, talking donuts.
Hey, thank you, gentlemen. Have a good day.
Cheers. When we come